So that music is by the Vancouver band Actors, and that means it's time for Sandboxing. That's the name for our monthly AI column. And this time our columnist, Kris Krüg, is going to talk to us about that singular thing that makes us human, and that is our consciousness. So without further context, here's a clip from Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
I order you not to go. I order you not to go. I order you not to go.
I know now why you cry. But it's something I can never do.
Man, a little bit of 1990s nostalgia there for us. That was Arnold Schwarzenegger's character taking a giant step towards consciousness. Okay, so campy sci-fi movies aside, this is actually a thing that people in the AI and robotics industries are working towards. And some of that work is happening right here in Vancouver. And here in studio with us to tell us more is Kris Krüg. He's the founder of Future Proof Creatives. Kris, hi there. Good morning.
Good morning, Gloria.
Oh, this all sounds so futuristic. Why are we talking about this right now?
Well, last week, Dr. Suzanne Gildert came out of stealth mode with her new company, Nirvanic Consciousness Technologies. She's a physicist and AI researcher based here in Vancouver who recently launched this new venture focused on integrating consciousness into AI systems to make them more empathetic and intuitive, like we saw in your Terminator clip there.
Where the robots can actually cry and feel emotion. I mean,
understand human values and how we think and feel and how we experience the world.
Okay, let's go into the definition or perceived definitions of conscious AI.
Sure. Well, physicists understand two different ways of processing information. The more binary way, like our desktop computers, ones and zeros, and the quantum way, where a whole bunch of things are held in a suspended, entangled state, much more like our brains. A lot of times we're driving to work and we feel like we're on autopilot and we take in very little information until something arises, and then we kind of wake out of that autopilot mode and become hyper aware and mindful. And this is the type of thing that she's talking about. And conscious AI relates to artificial intelligence systems that possess this kind of self-awareness and enabling them to understand and respond to their environment in a way that's much more similar to humans. And this involves integrating quantum cognitive processes like perception, reasoning, and emotions into AI in these machines.
Okay, so what is Dr. Gildert's version of conscious AI?
Her approach involves leveraging quantum computing to model different states of human consciousness. She believes that by understanding human consciousness through biological and neural systems and quantum simulations, we can develop AI that exhibits human-like traits such as empathy, moral reasoning, nuanced judgment, very human qualities.
Okay, well, let's go down this rabbit hole then. Let's start with the negatives. I mean, Suzanne is obviously very enthusiastic about this. I'm sure a lot of people are, but there are lots of sci-fi movies, as the Terminator we just saw there. Some very bad things happen when artificial intelligence achieves full consciousness. So to what extent should we be worried about that?
I mean, these are very valid concerns, and that they're at the forefront of all this research. The fear stems from the potential for these AI systems to act unpredictably or develop goals that might be like misaligned with human values. However, Dr. Gildert argues that by intentionally designing AI with a controlled form of consciousness, we can enhance safety. And she suggests that understanding and integrating consciousness into AI can make these systems more empathetic and more morally aligned. And it reduces the risk of unintended things happening.
Okay, we're going to hear from her.
Although people might think it's scary when they hear the phrase conscious AI, I want to argue that there's actually a safety argument for making AI conscious in certain situations. I don't think it should be conscious all the time, but I think we should understand more about what consciousness is so that we can put it into AI in a very thoughtful and responsible way, if and when it needs it.
That's Suzanne Gildert arguing in favor of creating an AI that's conscious some of the time.
Okay, let's bring this down to our level here, Kris. What are some examples of just where this could apply?
Yeah, she sees uses for it in all sorts of aspects of society. Dr. Gilbert envisions scenarios where AI systems can adjust their levels of consciousness based on situational needs. For instance, like in routine tasks, an AI might operate most of the time without any sort of consciousness. However, in complex social situations or in ethical decision making, increasing the AI's consciousness could lead to more empathetic and morally sound outcomes. This adaptability could be crucial in areas like autonomous vehicles or healthcare's customer service, where understanding like human emotions and human understanding is the context that's vital for that machine doing its job. By understanding consciousness more, we can program it using these quantum computers that are just now coming to market. We can plug it into these AIs and we can turn it up and down so that when the AI is just doing routine work, really boring, mundane stuff, it can switch off its consciousness, not even worry about it. But in situations where it has to be present, it's reacting in complex, dynamic social situations. You can turn the conscious module up a bit and make the AI be safer and more empathetic, more like us humans. And I think that will be the point at which it might develop things that look like true emotions or true feelings or a true like subjective experience.
Okay, so we're talking about Suzanne Gildert here. Why is she launching her project here in Vancouver?
There's a ton of exciting things going on in Vancouver right now, and you hear me on the show talking about it all the time. I run the Vancouver AI meetup community, and that's where Suzanne launched this company last week at the H.R. MacMillan Space Center. Vancouver's dynamic tech ecosystem with like a strong emphasis on AI and quantum computing and robotics, it's really the ideal environment for companies like Nirvanic Consciousness Technologies. We've got this collaborative atmosphere with a great startup culture. We've got access to all these world-leading research institutions and this growing, thriving community of AI professionals that are working on innovative, ethical technology development.
Okay, but where are we at? I mean, are bigger companies working on this too?
The biggest companies in the world are working on this. Like several major organizations like Google DeepMind and OpenAI have developed advanced language models like GPT and stuff, and they look like they might be, showing sophisticated behaviors that resemble consciousness. And the aim is to create, human-like understanding and reasoning. However, the approaches among a lot of those companies emphasize practical applications such as automating tasks and enhancing user interactions, while others dive deep into the theoretical explorations of consciousness and its implications. It's important to note that despite these advancements, the current state of AI, it only resembles human consciousness understanding. It's very binary and programmatic.
Yeah, but when we hear about just how quickly AI is advancing, you just got to wonder, I mean, how close are we to actually achieving something like conscious AI?
I think that we're a little bit away still. It could be 10 years or more. But the exciting thing is that these quantum computers that allow companies and people like Suzanne to test their theories of human consciousness and machine consciousness are coming to availability now. They're not exactly coming to the market. You can't go buy one at Best Buy. But every research institution, Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, these labs, they have access to these quantum computers where people like Suzanne can test their theories on quantum computers and learn from them, and then based on their learnings, potentially put some of this stuff into computers and machines in the future.
Bah! It sounds fascinating. It really does. Kris, thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's Kris Krüg. He is the founder of Future Proof Creatives. Sandboxing is going to return again next month.